Hello, everybody, and welcome to the White Hatter Weekly Update Show. I'm Brandon.
I'm the boomer. I'm Darren.
So we're going to talk about some of the latest, most important tech news that we came across since the last time we did the show that we think will have an impactful benefit for you and your family.
Now, before we do that, last week we had our great show on the giveaways and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, a lot of giveaways, which is good. And we've made a recording of that. So if you're a parent or a guardian or a caregiver, an aunt, an uncle, a family member looking to give some tech to your kid this Christmas, check out our YouTube page, which you're on right now, and have a look at the video that Brendan's put on there that's hosted on YouTube, where we talk about all the products, right, that we recommend as the White Hatter team that make it safer, especially for younger kids if they're going online.
Indeed. All right. So this week, a few news articles caught my attention.
Hit me.
This one's kind of weird. So it's an update to Opera, which is a browser like Chrome and Safari. Yeah. It's like a third-party browser.
Yeah.
Now, Opera's been making a lot of updates, and it's actually becoming quite competitive compared to Safari. Mm-hmm. And so this caught my attention. So apparently last year, Opera had an update feature where you could split a tab side by side. So you can have a page open on one side of your screen and then have another page open on the other side of your screen. And in real time, you can actually kind of manage viewing.
But you put on my MacBook Pro, you've got something, I think it's called Snap or whatever, where I can open Magnet, right? Where I can open up two different browsers on one screen. Is that kind of the same thing? Or
Microsoft has that built in the operating system.
Oh.
I think Microsoft patented, so Apple can.
Gotcha.
So those snappings are good, but in order to do that, you have to open another web page.
Yes, that's correct.
And so with Opera, it's now, what they're also doing, and it's more seamless, and in the new developer update, they're allowing you now to allow 4 different web pages you can simultaneously sort of work on.
So not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4.
Yeah. So if you are a production, if you're like a person who's all about efficiency, give Opera a chance, because you can have like, if you're like an AI person, you have ChatGPT, and you can actually shrink the window to like the size of a ChatGPT Xbox, and then you can have another website there. If you do in contrast,
can I just comment on Opera for a second?
Yeah.
It is amazing when we're doing our presentations now at schools, and we talk about the different privacy browsers that are out there, like Brave and Firefox and stuff. How many teens now ask us about Opera? Right, like we're seeing more of them asking about Opera. So I think you're right. I think Opera is kind of becoming more popular, especially with young people.
Yes, because Opera often does kind of pitch itself to gamers. If you're like a browser gamer, it's supposedly supposed to use less resources. Chrome is notorious for just sucking up your PC resources.
Right.
Better now, but in the past it's been. And of course, you have the Google thing about tracking, and then Firefox hasn't seen keeping with modern trends, and so Opera is getting quite.
Just something that I note is that we're asked quite often, especially when we're talking about privacy and browsers, how many teens bring up Opera, which tells me that a lot of them are using it, right?
So like I said, if you're a power user on a multitask, you like comparing and contrasting products during Black Friday shopping. Give that a try instead of tab, just have them both there.
Or just get ChatGPT to do the shopping for you. Have you seen that? How a lot of people are now using AI. Like if I'm picking a product for you is a good example now. You can use AI to search the entire web to look for the best deal that's out there, and then it provides you with the link where you can go to purchase it.
Yeah, until brands pay for their products to be.
That's not going to happen, Brandon. Yeah, no, it is happening. In fact, we had a hearing at our national with our parliament, which is like the capital in Washington, right? The capital of Canada. There's a huge thing going on right now where they're looking at AI, and one of the PhD experts in Canada on AI basically said, "Hey, listen, he's uncovered that's going on, right? Where big name brand companies are paying some of these AI companies like name them, but you know who they are, who just so that their product in their platform maybe rates a little higher when it comes to the spitting out of what comes out of some of these chats."
Yep.
It's going to happen, right? Although I did see today that OpenAI, they were looking to move to marketing and trying to figure out how to monetize. And they've said today, or it was announced today, that he's kind of putting a hold on that right now. In fact, he said in the company email just recently, or what was reported today, is that he's told the company red alert, right? Because right now, who's catching up to him? Google's catching up to him.
Predicting Google was going to win.
Did you read that today? Like OpenAI still has the most, right? I think it's about 800 million or something like that. But Google right now is like at 400 million and climbing quickly. So it was funny because the reporter said Google said the same thing to their corporation a couple of years ago when ChatGPT started taking off and everybody was using it to do basically searching of the internet. Well, now the tables have kind of flipped, right? So it's very interesting to watch the race going on right now. So,
speaking of Google AI, so
Gemini.
Google changes the pro free access limit. So they swapped the initial 5 prompts a day guarantee to a more fluid basic access per day.
Let me guess. Because they're just getting a ton of people using it.
Yeah. So it was cut from 3 images per day. It's now down to 2 images per day on the free tier.
Can you imagine how hot their data centers must be getting with all this usage, right?
Yeah.
Which brings up, can you imagine the amount of water they're having to use to cool it, which means environmental issues, right? But anyway, that doesn't surprise me, right? Because when we look at the amount of AI slop, and what's slop, Brandon?
Junk.
Yeah,
just useless generations.
Yeah, it's
using AI to not produce anything of actual value.
Like every site, like even if you go into Pinterest now, right? It's all AI generated stuff. So, as a result of that, you look at the amount of power that it must be using on these data centers and the heat anyway. So, but that doesn't surprise me.
Yep. So if you might have to switch to ChatGPT because ChatGPT free access compared to Google now. So
I do find that Gemini pushes out better pictures.
Does it?
It does. Like I'm still messing around with I'm still very hesitant about using anything, and you caution me against that all the time. Because sometimes when I'm trying to find a picture on an article I'm writing, you can't find the right one, but yet you can prompt one to reflect exactly what it is that you're talking about, which is kind of cool, right? But you keep cautioning me, don't do that, right? Because of all the copyright issues and stuff that's like Disney is suing, who is it? One of the companies, Midjourney,
or OpenAI. Yeah, I think probably all of them.
I think it's Midjourney over the fact that there was a Yoda, right? Like if you go into Midjourney, you say, "Hey, create a Yoda type figure with a lightsaber." It created one, but it looks just like Yoda from Star Wars, right? So Disney's suing them right now.
I thought Midjourney was the best image generation. It's still number 1.
I haven't messed with that one recently. What I've been doing is because of you saying that you think Google Gemini is going to take over OpenAI, I've kind of been running the two of them, like comparing the two.
Right.
And I just find that Google Gemini, when it comes to creating pictures and video, they're just more realistic. They're more crisp than the OpenAI right now.
Okay.
Anyways, that's just me.
I do think OpenAI's ChatGPT writing essays
and doing research.
Yeah,
right.
Google's it does more of that agentic approach.
Yeah.
What
does that mean? Agentic, just for the people who are watching.
It works as a butler for
you,
more or less. It's someone that does your bidding.
What I'm finding is each one of these products kind of does something specific. So depending upon what you want to do, there's a product that is better than the other. Now, the downside to that is that you have to start paying for all these products, right? So You know, it would be nice just to have one. And I think that's what ChatGPT is trying to do. They're trying to be the Heinz 57 of everything. And so as a result of that, there's other companies that I think are becoming more surgically concentrating on one specific thing and getting really good at it. Okay. Interesting to watch the development, what's going on, right?
In continuation with our AI chat, which again, this show is more at our AI update.
But that's because of, this is funny. I've seen this slop all over my feeds right now.
So apparently there's some kind of trending where influencers will actually AI generate cute animals into their posts because cute animals tend to get more follows. Oh, yeah, I know. It's like when someone gets a new kitten and they share it on social media and it gets up and then when the cat's 1 year old, no one cares.
I've seen like deer and fawns and rabbits and cats and dogs, and I've seen wolverines, right? Like that one was pretty funny, right? So, but it's right now, this is it's everywhere, and because of click, right? Like you say, it attracts it stuff. So, but it's just flooding all our feeds.
Yeah. So, when you are watching and looking at influencer media, they're trying to make their stuff more cute. That in mind,
the only time
you are being influenced.
The only time that's not true is 101 Dalmatians, the movie. Remember? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. That. Anyways.
Oh
yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I read about this one too.
Taking place in South Korea, but it's not unlikely this could happen in North America. South Korean police arrest 4 people for hacking 120,000 plus home cameras. Yeah. Yikes.
Yeah. So. How are they primarily doing it, Brandon?
There's a couple ways we've seen in the past. So either home-based cameras bought cheap and they just don't have any good software for security. Number 2 is people the same login password for everything, and so people's security net, they'll make it as the same password.
Or for a couple of years ago, and it's still popular, war driving, right? Where people will drive neighborhoods looking for open Wi-Fi. Remember, a couple of years ago, it was all about baby cameras, right? Baby monitors, where people were war driving neighborhoods looking for these cameras that were using Wi-Fi.
Because there were some that didn't have proper security built in.
Correct. Yeah. So this is happening with cameras as well, because if you're using a Wi-Fi camera, which a lot of people now do, or a Bluetooth camera, if you don't change the password and you're using the default password, well, guess what? Right?
Yeah. So in the report, it's not just homes. So they access cameras in private homes, karaoke rooms, Pilates studios, and gynecologists.
Okay, now, why would there be?
Yeah. So, okay, if you're going to have a camera in a private place, either in a business, doctor's office, or even your home living room.
Like a gynecologist's office?
Hey, that's what was reported. Like, hey, Okay,
Mrs. Johnson, just hold on here. Let's just get it. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. So, number 1, double think if you really want to put a camera in a private space.
Or at least ask the doctor, hey, doc, can I confirm there's no cameras in this room? And the doctor may be a little ticked that you've asked them that question, but my God, right?
Yeah. And these cyber criminals were selling videos overseas to illegal websites, primarily looking for clothing, and then selling it, and then also AI making. So again, cameras in the home or private places. If you're going to have a private camera, keep it on closed circuit, so its images aren't broadcasted to a portal or anything. It's just everything is local.
That's one of the things that we talk to homeowners about, because a lot of people are now going with the security cameras outside, right? And a lot of them are Bluetooth or Wi-Fi based cameras. And the criminal element are using specific devices now that you can purchase online, that before they hit the property, they push the button and it boop, blocks out. It basically it poisons the Wi-Fi or Bluetooth network, right?
That is also a CRTC violation of having a Wi-Fi jammer. But
do you really think criminals care about that?
If you're breaking into a home, what do you care? The CRTC has to say, right?
Exactly. So that's why if you're using cameras, they should be hardwired into the system, right? Because it prevents that from happening.
Hardwired, closed circuit. The video footage stays locally in your home environment. So the images aren't. Now, if it's a camera shooting outside into your driveway, that's probably fine to have your camera then portals so you can see. But in your home.
And I also think, and you can help me with this one, Brandon, I think it's called WAP 1, WAP 2, with respect to the security protocols that are in place when you're broadcasting via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. You just got to make sure that you're on the highest level of WAP, right? That you have on the system, right?
So, cameras in the home. A little cautious about that.
Gynecologist. My God.
Okay, so ChatGPT.
Oh, another ChatGPT story. Go figure.
In the pressure to become more relevant and to have more users, they will allow adult content starting this month at some point. But you have to verify your age with them. You'll be able to remove some of the blocks from adult-related content.
You know what's interesting about this one? They came under heavy criticism a couple months ago because of these companionship apps and how sexualized they can be, and how, like a 10-year-old, a 13, under 18 were accessing these things, right? So they made all these promises that they were going to stop that from happening, came forward. And then all of a sudden they started to get tons of feedback from those over the age of 18. Going, hey, what about us? So as a result of that, their client base was getting really ticked off. So they decided, well, you know what? We don't want to lose that client base because that's all about money, right? Sex sells. So does it surprise me that they're doing this? No. But what kind of age gating are they going to have? What are they using to do the age gating? Does it say in the article?
No, it just says that you will have to verify your age some ways now. Probably, I would assume, an ID scan. That seems to be the most popular and most consistent form by not having to.
Yeah, I've written a huge article on, like right now, Roblox, as you know, if you want to use their chat application within the Roblox, as of this week, as of December 1st, you have to now do a facial scan, either provide ID for chat.
No, if you're in, I think, 3 countries, it's required right now, but in January, it will be mandatory.
They're rolling it all over the place, right? So, and in order to do that, you have to prove it 2 ways to do it: providing ID, like government ID, like a passport, or doing a facial scan. And so I have all kinds of issues with these facial scans going on. Like the company that they're using, I'm just trying to remember the name
Persona.
of the company. Yeah, one of the major funders of Persona, an individual in the United States who has this fund where he funds these things. And the last money raised for on Wall Street for investors was like $400 million into this company, which means that they're going to have some say in what's going on. And this individual who kind of started this funding company, he's gone public to basically say, hey, listen, he or she that controls this type of information has all the power. Right? And so it's all about following the money. So I'm really concerned about this. So, one of the things I'm saying to parents is, like, I don't think, if you're an adult, that's your choice, right? But if you got a kid under the age of 18, now this makes it a problem because a lot of kids are on Roblox. And one of the funnest things about Roblox is being able to chat to your pals when you're doing it, right? So one of the things I can share with you is a lot of the parents now are saying, and I agree with this, like, I'm not going to have my child's face scanned. Like, I'm just not going to do that, right? So they can still play the game without chat, which is still fun, or they can use other platforms to do the chatting. Good example, some are now using Discord channel to do that, the chat. Some of them, what they'll do is, because a lot of them have cell phones now, they'll open up cell phone chat group chats, and they'll do it that way, or they'll open up a Zoom window, and a bunch of them are in a Zoom window, right? So
I have to question the parents who say, I don't want my kid's face uploaded to Roblox.
Right.
I'm assuming those parents have never, ever posted their child on any social network ever in the world.
Parenting, right?
Come on. Every time you put a photo into your Facebook album or on Instagram, faces are being scanned.
And that's the other thing too is, and Facebook has, or Meta, who owns Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, said last year that anything you're putting into any of their products now is being fed into their AI LLM, large language model, to train it. And that includes all pictures and videos, right? So, but it's interesting, right? But this is something that we call sharenting, where parents are putting too much information about their kids online. And in today's world, especially with AI augmentation and deepfake technology, you post a picture of your kid online, bad things can happen, right? So these are things that parents need to think about. And we have to find the balance somewhere, right? Like there's this really cool company in Australia that is looking at doing age verification, but you don't have to supply your kids' face shots. There's other things that can be done. So it's just, I've got a real concern over that. And I've just written an article. Find it on our website, www.thewhitehider.ca, on Roblox and the challenges around facial recognition and things to think about, some of our concerns and other ways you can think. But some parents have said to me, you know what, Darren, this is kind of win-win. Because I really don't want them to chat to people that they don't know, but I still want them to play Roblox. Well, I get the best of both worlds, right? So if I don't get them age certified, that just means they can't chat with people online, which I'm okay with, but yet they can still play the game. Oh, okay.
You're assuming there's no other ways in the game to chat. Like, I don't know, with a paintbrush in write text like on and not use the official chat app.
But are a lot of kids going to do that?
Yeah, we'll see. Find out.
I know.
So speaking of age verification and banning kids from using social media, so it's all great. Government's banning, teens from social media because of dangers. Ooh. But guess what? Teens have rights. Go figure. Teens have rights. They're people. They have rights. They pay taxes. They have rights. So a pair of teens partnering with a social advocacy group is challenging Australia's ban on social media. They're claiming that, this is going to silence us. We have a right to expression. It's going to disproportionately harm students, youth who are disabled, First Nations, rural and remote communities, students in the community. Yeah. One student stated in an article, it's like 1984. They want to be protected, but not to be silenced.
So just a couple of comments on this one. I brought this to your attention, right? So it's really been interesting following this. This one's going to be an interesting one to follow because Australia, much like Canada, has their own Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Here in Canada, we have the right of expression, right? And so Australia has something very similar. And so basically what they're saying is it's violating their charter rights. And a number of legal academics have said that these kids and their suit, they've got a pretty good stable platform to be arguing from, right? Like this one's going to be interesting. Mm-hmm. But number two, I think what this really demonstrates is that when the government pushed this forward, there was a lot of consultation with adults, but they never included any of the youth in any of these discussions in any meaningful way. So, if there's one thing that I would recommend to Canadian governments and legislators that maybe look, because there's a real push right now, hey, people are saying Canada should be adopting what Australia has done. Whoa, before we do that, let's watch and see what happens first. But number two, here in Canada, for the legislator, the governments and the people in government are going to make those decisions, I think it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we have those who laws are going to affect the most have a part to play in this and a part to say in this, because, I do think that teens have a lot to offer us as adults. We adults just need to be willing to listen. Yeah, we adults, we bring life experience to the table that these kids don't have, but teens bring a lot of experience to the table that we, surrounding technology that we adults don't think about. Like, have you ever watched some of the Senate hearings in the United States where some of these senators are asked about, what is Discord, and they're gonna, they have no idea.
Oh, my favorite was, I think it was either New Zealand or it was Australia, where they had a hearing and there was someone asking about, determining which apps should be banned or not. And there's this person asking, so what about, it was WhatsApp, and they were asking, why isn't WhatsApp banned? But why is Snapchat banned? Right. Because they both have the same feature. And there was some arbitrary, just because. And
in Australia, it's not a full ban on all social media. They've identified specific platforms. But
that's the issue.
I know.
Who is this arbiter that makes, this is social media? Like right now, YouTube is making claims, some of these bans going, we're not social media. We're like Netflix. Yeah, people can comment, but we just show videos.
Right.
Is that social media?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because a lot of these platforms that they're naming, like Snapchat and TikTok, but there's a ton of other platforms that weren't identified that would fall under that legislation, right? So it's again, it's going to be very interesting to watch. I applaud Australia for at least taking the leap, right? They've decided.
It was a lazy approach.
It was, but now they're into it. They're going through it. So Let's see what happens, right? Like I'm a big believer. Okay, they took the leap, right? They took the leap. They've tried to put proper policy procedure in place. By the way, there's, if somebody breaches it, there's no enforcement mechanism that I know of yet. But anyways, they've taken the leap. Now let's watch what happens, right? And so by watching what happens, they may be able to adapt, right? To mold, to adapt, overcome, and improvise, to change things up. Or they may, in the end, say, you know what? This was a failed experiment. We just dumped a ton of money into something that we could have used for something else. So before we in Canada take that jump, well, let's look at things first. And also for the Canadians that are watching us right now, understand that the difference between us and Australia is that free trade agreement that we have between ourselves and the United States, where it's written right in that free trade agreement. It's kind of like the protections in the United States that here in Canada, we can't hold these companies liable for things that other people do on their platforms. And so you
have to change our trade agreement. And right now, anything that restricts the Americans,
and what's going on with Trump right now,
it's probably not going to, we're struggling to maintain our forest industry, our automotive industry. So do we want our economy to go boom?
Yeah,
not boom and like boom, like the booming economy, like boom. Like
don't get me wrong. Like I do believe that government needs to step in to provide some kind of accountability on these companies, because right now there is no guardrails, right? Like there's nothing there, and this is especially true when it comes to.
There's no criminal code of Canada.
Yeah, but still, these companies, in my opinion, they're running, especially on AI right now. They're running fast and breaking things. They really don't care because there's no kind of legislation to kind of go whoa. For all kinds of reasons. I know what you're going to say. Well, if we do it, well, then you give somebody else an advantage, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Okay, I get that. But you know what? We need to put something in place with these companies. However, what I am 100% against is nanny legislation. And nanny legislation is where we create legislation that puts more of the onus and punishment on the young people who are using these platforms, rather than saying to these platforms, do something to police yourselves. And if you don't, there's going to be a consequence.
But they cannot 100% capture everything.
For sure.
So there has to be at least a good intention clause in there going, hey, you should do something, but we're not going to punish you for missing.
But look at how many of these companies, there's a few exceptions, have downsized as soon as the new administration got in the United States. Don't get that, but all of a sudden they started dumping people out of who were actually taking those complaints to deal with these things, the trust and verification.
Yep.
They got rid of it all, right? Well, where's the due diligence there? There is none, right? Because there is no consequence to them.
Then it goes into the idea of free trade in terms of just dump the people. But you have me hire someone? No. How about you run a government taxes, pay that, and then you have to raise everyone's taxes to have these arbiters and investigators. No one's going to want to vote for.
I mean, that bill C-63 that we've spoken about before. I mean, if that thing goes into play, number one, I don't fully support all of it, right? Like all of it, no, because on some of the privacy issues and stuff that are going on, not good. I do like two components of Bill C-63 that I could support. But when you look at what they're going to be putting in place, like they're going to have like 4 or 5 arbiters, like of each, like it's like
the bureaucracy,
like holy moly. But anyways, but we do need to do something, right? Like I do believe that there needs to be a balance between accessibility and privacy and the protection of it. Right now, a big part of that we also believe is a parent involvement, like parental abdication of this responsibility is significant. We know that because we're dealing with parents all the time whose kids are finding themselves in bad situations. But it's a triad, right? Like I find the think of a triad like a triangle. Just in case you didn't know what a triangle. Which I know you did.
Bob game.
Yeah, but the base is parenting, and then the other two include legislation and then responsibility of the vendors, right? Like it's a triangle.
Surefire way is.
You keep talking about that.
That's the only way. Like, see effective in China, we see it somewhat effective in Russia. China? Well, that's the thing. The only way to perfectly sort of maximally protect your citizens is to isolate your country, because our laws don't apply to other countries. You have to keep everyone isolated.
And you plug into SpaceX so that you'll.
Yeah. for you. You get around those. I don't know, but the only surefire way, the most maximal way to protect people, firewall. But then you reach into the issue of what about people's freedoms? Because people have. So.
Yeah, there's some really good mental gymnastics going on with respect to privacy and rights and safety and a lot of these age verifications that are coming in that are designed for kids. Well, that's how they were pushed. We got to protect our kids. Is now affecting adults because in order for us to register with these sites, we have to prove we're over the age of 18. Well, that now means they're collecting personal information on me too, right?
But they delete it right away.
Yeah, whatever. What about Discord? Right? Or that Discord breach.
Well, they didn't use Persona.
No, but they used a third party, like Persona, where they said, we collect it and we delete it right away. Well, guess what? They didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Which, again, if Persona ever goes public offering,
well,
buy some stocks.
Well, they are public.
Are they public?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought they're a private entity.
Oh, maybe. I mean, they're on the Toronto Stock Exchange.
Are they?
I thought they were. I might be wrong, right? But, I mean... Again, I say follow the money. Look at who's investing in that company right now and what their beliefs are specifically to privacy, right? And how they believe that he or she that controls all this security and all this information, they will rule the world, right? Like, do I really want a company whose funder, their prime funder, is somebody who thinks like that? Like, and how many times have we had companies promise us that they're going to keep our information private and safe to later on have it leaked, right? So.
Okay, just grain of salt. AI summary. No, it's not. It's not a public company.
Okay.
Persona announced April of this year, Series D funding. So they're looking for investors,
and they got it.
So
from this one investor.
They're not a public company, which again, public or private companies. It's just that public.
Yeah, and those shareholders can be evil.
True. Here's the thing: any organization that's above, let's say, 1,000 team members, doesn't matter if you government, it doesn't matter if you're for profit, non-profit, charity. The moment an organization reaches a certain size, you may have all the best goodwill in the world. Something changes in regards to the groupthink and the institutionalization of members.
Yeah, but especially if the leader of that group is like, well, don't give me into
okay.
Right? Like it's just like the fish starts to rot at the head, right? Like so. Anyways, next topic.
All right. Okay. So. So we've been mentioning here in the studio for quite a while that the newest frontier on cybersecurity is your browser.
Yes.
Because we don't do much in our operating system anymore. It's all in the cloud.
Yeah.
And what accesses the cloud is your browser. So stealthy browser extensions waited years before infecting 4.3 million Chrome Edge users, backdoors, and spyware. So these developers made a legitimate plugin, so like a program that somehow enhances the browser. Because there are some plugins I mentioned earlier in the show how Opera has
right.
There are some plugins Chrome does the same,
right?
But that's a third party plugin. So these plugins, so some of them were actually featured and verified on the plugin store, and in recent updates, the developers had put in a malicious piece of code, being able to full browser surveillance. They were able to inject JavaScript, the history of URLs, referrals, timestamps, identifiers, browser fingerprinting. So yeah, yikes.
This reminds me of like a sleeper cell, right? Like I watched a series on Netflix. I think it was called The Russians, right? Where they train these Russian spies to go live in America for 30 or 40 years to kind of, asymmetrically, grow into their communities and that kind of stuff. But when the time comes, they're going to be activated.
Wasn't that also the plot of the Black Widow?
Yeah, something like that, right?
Guardian?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, right? So that's what it kind of reminds me of. Like they planted these sleeper programs out there that all of a sudden they're now being activated.
Legitimately working programs. They did what they said.
Yeah, kind of like a spy. They're doing what they should be doing in real world, but then all of a sudden they're activated and then they become bad
Once
guys.
they had the pod of users at a high level, they're like, okay, flick the switch and infected. So again, the show is about practical advice and takeaways to improve your digital life. Be cautious about third-party plugins you bring into your browser.
But the problem is some of these third-party plugins were reviewed by so-called experts who thought, yeah, these are pretty cool. They're okay, right? And so, I mean...
This also reminds me of the time. There was a game on the Steam Games that an indie developer, just a single person, built a game, totally reasonable, but some hacker scam got the game developer's login to their Steam account, and they uploaded a version of the code.
Right.
The developer, like the honest developer, had no intention to do harm, but because they had bad security practices, someone had taken over.
Yeah.
So
the weakest link is always the human link, right? Usually you get these things activated, you got to click something, right? But when all of a sudden you're looking at these products and you know, I always say before you download any product, give it 6 months, right? Let it play out. Let's see what other security experts find within it and then make an informed decision before you download it. But when you have these security experts who have actually done that and reviewed it and went, yeah, thumbs up, looks pretty good. Well, you trust them and then all of a sudden you're downloading it. But it just goes to show you that humans can be wrong sometimes.
Some of the plugins also looked at your cookies. They keystroke log. Some browsers, when you download a browser extension, it may ask you, you want this plugin to have features. Not everyone reads all those features.
I click them all the time.
You click the ones that sometimes give you notifications.
Brandon!
Yeah. Those ones are tricky, though. I will give you that. They're tricky.
Thank you. But I've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Right? I've gotten a lot better.
So, your browser's plugins are not all safe.
Speaking of Discord.
News today. Discord announced you're now able to buy and gift video games in.
What's the big deal on that? Like, you can do that on Roblox, right? You can do that on a variety of different platforms.
Yes. But this is only going to work for Marvel Rivals, which is their free-to-play game.
Okay.
So yes, a lot of in games you can buy character skins, dresses, clothing,
weapons,
to customize weapon colors and designs to customize and have ownership over. But typically those are all within the game. It's not usually a third-party service like Discord kind of facilitates the selling and buying, transferring of those skins in a game.
You know what that kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of OpenAI's new Atlas, right? Their web browser, where now you can do all that within their browser, and OpenAI does it for you.
Yep.
And that's what it kind of reminds me of.
Now, on Discord's part, they will take a cut of the purchases.
Of course they will. That's how they make their money. What's the cut? How much?
The exact percentages aren't disclosed, and it's likely going to be negotiated between.
I bet she's going to be around 20%.
You know, that's kind of like Apple does around like 20-30%. So that's kind of like the average. I think Steam does. Yeah, that's pretty normal.
I bet you're going to be around 20%.
For marketplace. So this is interesting. We'll see. Apparently, Discord is quite popular for Marvel Rivals, and I need Marvel Rivals, so I can do that.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a great free-to-play game.
Cool.
I don't really care for hero shooters.
What's your genre?
RPGs, role-playing games.
What's my genre?
World of Tanks.
Yeah.
Period. End of story.
World of Tanks, man.
Now, I did get you to try playing Door Kickers.
I did. Door Kickers is like SWAT teams and special military units going in and
it's like a top-down real-time strategy game. Turn-based too.
I don't know. It didn't.
I thought tactics would be cool.
Yeah, it didn't do anything for me.
All right.
Tanks.
I'll try to find you something else.
Tanks. World of Warships. I kind of like that too.
Okay.
Nice.
So at least for the practical advice for families who may be cautious about what they're selling or trading, keep in mind it's not just what happens in a game. There are third-party web stores and avenues that can be. So keep that in mind. Your kid, you might check the.
Very cool.
Yep. And that is our top news week.
Hey, you know what I'm doing tomorrow?
Oh, you're doing an interview.
I am. I'm going to be interviewing 2 teens that are in high school right now who developed a program that offers tutoring to kids on math, and it is making them money. They've built a for-profit kind of thing that they're doing, which is really cool, because I think too often when you watch media, we hear about all the negative, teens are anxious, they're lonely, bad things are happening. We don't hear a lot of people talking about how the majority of teens are doing super cool and creative things. So tomorrow, I'm really looking forward to interviewing these 2 young men and what it is that they've done, the technology they're using, how technology played a key role. Because that's one of the things that I think we need to start doing more, right? Because there's this narrative out there, and don't get me wrong, there are issues. There are issues right now, certainly, where there's a smaller cohort of teens that are more at risk online with the use of technology.
But technology is not for everybody.
No,
that's
but
reasonable.
The vast majority that we've met are doing super cool and creative things online. And so, one of the things that I want to do is I'm lining up actual interviews. Like right now on our Facebook page, I post these all the time just to get, and our followers love this. And what I hear from them consistently saying to me is like, it's nice to see these young people actually doing cool things, because we only thought that it was because that's all they read, because that's what their feeds are full of. Now I've had some followers. Yeah, I've had some followers that maybe don't appreciate us doing that for whatever reason, right? But I'm sorry. Like one of the things, well, I'm not sorry, because we will absolutely identify those situations where teens are doing things really in a positive way. But we will also highlight when things go bad, right? Like yesterday, I spent over 45 minutes with a parent who follows us on our Facebook page, as well as some of our other social media feeds. They've heard us speak as well. And their child is in some trouble right now at an emotional and psychological level because of what's going on with their technology, right? Mm-hmm. So that happens, like it does. And those types of teens and young people we need to talk about as well, because there is a small cohort out there, and the research supports this fact, right? And the other thing that this research supports is that those teens that are most at risk offline are usually the same youth that are at risk online as well. So, but I'm really looking forward to tomorrow and talking to these 2 young men. I think it's going to be really cool. And we've got some other interviews I'm lining up with other teens from across our country as well, going into the new year. Like you got me this program to use called, I think it's Riverside, right?
Riverside is fantastic interviews.
Yeah. No, we
Although, we should. Riverside's fantastic because it records everyone's. This is, you get raw image.
And great program. You know what's going to be cool about this is you've given me freedom to go ahead and edit this stuff. Like, so I'm actually
going to can use Riverside.
Right. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to learn how to use it. And how am I going to learn how to use it? YouTube.
Yep.
YouTube is going to teach me how to use it.
You might also want to try CapCut as well.
Oh, CapCut. Yeah. Okay.
That's a pretty user-friendly.
But why not use the software that's already come with Riverside? It's pretty good, isn't it?
I'll be honest. I tried Riverside. I tried making shorts from our last show.
Yeah.
For me, as someone who edits all our video stuff, it was frustrating.
But that's because you're a millennial. Maybe it was built for boomers.
It's not. I think CapCut might.
Oh, we'll see.
I think you download the videos and. I didn't try the multi-camera feature.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Give it a try.
Yeah, I'm gonna do
See what you like.
I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a new skill to learn. Keeps my brain working because when you get to my age, you need to keep your brain engaged. So I'm going to learn a new skill, which I'm really looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to doing, I've got all kinds of people I'm going to be connecting with interviews, right?
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, those were the top news stories that we worth sharing with all of you today. And we'll see you all next week. We'll see what pops up. Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Good afternoon, Dr. Court. How you brought yourself to where you are today?
Wanting to be generous and accommodating.
Work with young people.
We decided to do some background research on these three major mobile ISPs, what's clearly prohibited and could in fact be a violation of their terms of service.
We thought this would be an opportunity to create a video about general buying and selling safety tips on the internet.
Created a version 2 that they call the Donashi Scholar, and which is specifically designed for youth about a new mobile phone that was on the market called the Wise Phone.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unanswered Questions. Sometimes we just don't get enough time to answer all the amazing questions from students during our live broadcast. Recent bug in Meta, Facebook, and Instagram proves you cannot always trust a password. AI cybercrime is happening right now and is likely going to be happening more. We wish to recognize these extraordinary and outstanding people by presenting them with the White Hatter Medallion.